Good morning, North America! It is in Montreal, Hawk Island, record-breaking temperatures. It is 11:11 in the morning. It is 22 degrees. That's 11 plus 11. That's 22 plus 22 degrees because it's 11:11. That's 22 plus 22. That's 44. What does that got to do with anything is the fact that I'm an aspie, got that HFA, high-functioning autism. And gonna turn my head left or right before I cross the street because you never know. Brakes might malfunction. The solar flare might pop the king the sun, might pop the king the sun, might pop the king the sun. Strong, strong, strong. Might, of course, give a little bit of that solar flare. Give a little bit of that solar flare. Give a little bit of that solar flare. Solar flare, solar flare. And if you give it a little bit of that solar flare, he might get it on the go. And he might get it on the go. Getting on the go, getting on the go for the cranes, for the, we're gonna get that solar for, for the cranes, for on the load. For the crones that come to come, for those butchers and the bakers and the nurses and the doctors and those. On the fires, firefighters. We're gonna get it on the island for the go, for the go up in the coast to coast. We're gonna get it rock and roll. We're gonna get it on the dough. We're gonna get it for the butchers and the bakers and the nurses and the doctors and the truckers on the Halloween here. Let's go. Rock and roll 24/7. You know how it's spawned. That's that heaven. That's the black and white and blue. Take the home back home to you. Construction workers, I got a crane fetish. For the truckers and the butchers and the bakers, got that rainbow dragon 24/7. Play that black and white and rainbow, got a kisses by the dozen. Got that goddess, I'm with it. Got that goddess, I'm with it. Got that goddess, so you 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 split it. Got that goddess, so you bit it. Got that goddess, so you with it. Got that goddess, so you with it. Got that goddess, so you with it. Got that goddess, so you spit it. Got that goddess, so you with it. Got that goddess for you with it. Got that goddess for you with it. Got that goddess for you with it. For you spit it. Those construction workers on steel toes. Gotta get it for for the sun up in the go. For the sun up in the sun. So the sun up in the one. For the sun up in the holy one. For the sun up in the holy bum. For the sun up in the sword. It ain't all about fighting. Gotta get me some of that loving. It's not about that fight. Gotta get that sort of way. Gotta get me some loving. Coast to coast butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, truckers. Those in the daycare's gonna change some diapers. It's Halloween. I wish I would be reducing the costs by half. Gonna salute the train conductors. The train conductors and the butchers and the bakers and the nurses. Is that sun gonna get that record on the one? Truckers on the road, North Americans unite that coast to coast. For that French and for that English, we're gonna spit it out that sentence. Truckers on the road, construction workers, butchers, bakers, electricians, and those plumbers. Somebody gotta change those diapers. Daycares, let's go change that armed forces. This Canadian Quebecer was born in the USA. 3 times, once as a woman, twice as a man, served in the same army. 156 years apart, 156 years apart, 156 years apart. Same army, U.S. Army, right here for the North American Collective Dragon Army. Let's go for that public-private partnership, support the dream. The dream for the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. Gonna turn my head, even if it's my time to go ahead. Because you never know, the brakes might malfunction. And the brakes can potentially malfunction. If the brakes malfunction, I got 5 seconds, I'm good to go. Beautiful day. Record breaker though. In the morning, it was already 22 when I left. Around 10:44, about 44 minutes ago or so. And 11 plus 11 when I started video, so 11 plus 11, that's 22, and it was 22, so that's 44, do the math. Gotta get it for gotta get it for the coast to coast, coast to coast. We got that infrastructure on the go. We got that infrastructure to rebuild it, it's a bit windy on the go. Children gonna be happy, gonna get back home after some work in the south of the island. You can see that downtown Montreal. How those Habs gonna play, I don't know. Reduce the cost by 44.9%. NFL National Football League, NHL National Hockey League, NBA National Basketball Association, MLB. Gotta reduce those ticket costs. Encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. Gratitude is great for mental health and Asperger's. Neurological mental developmental condition which makes me predisposed to obsessive interest for repetitive words and phrases and echolalia and getting too close to conversation with people. So it's not a mental illness, it's a neurodivergent mental condition which makes me predisposed to the aforementioned, dispositions, inclinations, obsessive interests, and It's 24/7 geopolitics. I'm an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist in rock and roll and fitness. Fitness junkie. Dancing is my favorite sport. I'm a fitness junkie. Fitness junkie. Dancing is my favorite sport, and you gotta go get that rock and roll 24 as we go. For the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, gonna turn my head left and right. Black and white or rainbow dragon support a dream. My dream fundamentally is a call for a public-private partnership across the collective North American civilization from Quebec, La Belle Province. Get that flag. You need some rainbow on it, some color. We gotta get that North American infrastructure. We gotta get it for the infrastructure for the North America. I gotta check it for the XYZ, and gonna wait for the light. Gonna wait for the light for transverse, and gonna wear some of that red, my favorite color. That's what I said. And here we are in the midst. We're going down south, island Montreal, metropolis, 2.5 million people. On the island, of course, of Montreal, we're 2.5 million people here. Quebec, I heard myself. Quebec and North American, Canadian, gotta check for those truckers, butchers, bakers, nurses, and the doctors and the grocery store clerks, and all those on the truckers, those public workers picking up the garbage, collecting the garbage. Give them some free tickets. NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, MLB, National Basketball Association, and give them some free tickets. Reduce the cost by 44.9%. How many truckers on the road? Salutations to the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, warehouse workers in the ports across the collective North American civilizational complex, the public workers who build the aqueducts, the cement with the brains and the steel, all the brains and the steel and the metal and the brains to build those satellites that NORAD open up some Cheyenne mountains like we did back in the days, and we're gonna get that defense coast to coast, ocean to ocean, and we're gonna go get it for the XYZ. Now we're gonna wait here for the light, just to traffic prudently, and we're gonna cross it on the side. We're gonna cross it until the wait for the line to cross. I'm just gonna wait. I'm not gonna follow my fellow citizen cyclist. I'm just gonna be my eyes on it like a hawk. Like a hawk, I'm just gonna wait for the light, proper light to truck, because now they can turn on the right side. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna press the button right here. Maybe this is the one that's gonna work function. I'm gonna wait for the light and just pass, and then we're gonna pass by good, and there we go. Now we can pass by safely. And, you know, we got that little, should be a rainbow. I got plenty of seconds, that half a minute on the go, 25 seconds. See, and that was plenty of time, so no need to speed it up, rush. But I gotta salute. See those big trucks, those public workers, public sanitation workers. Gonna pick up the compost. Today's Thursday in my neighborhood. I almost forgot to take it out. You know, I got a crane fetish, so I'm admiring that crane. Stay safe, be safe, and love me some of those firefighters. Send some love to the firefighters of the North American Collective. Put it up for the dream, the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, and North American Collective Workers Party, North American Collective Workers Party, North American Collective Workers Party, the North American Collective Workers Party for the ambulance drivers. Nobody's perfect. Somebody got to get for that security, for that that police. We're individuals, part of the institutions. My dream, of course, for the philosophies and the implementation of my initiatives. As an ASPE, got that HFA, high functioning autism, and being, of course, that I have HFA, high functioning autism, I got my obsessive interest, and I have my obsessive interest in philosophies and initiatives based on my analysis. And I am saying that I'm marking 5 years this month, last day of October. In October 2019, I predicted an international conflagration, which in a parallel, general, not in a detailed manner, is occurring as it is now. I predicted it back in 2019 in October. That was my prediction back in 2019 in October, right here from the island of Montreal. And 7 years ago, cross Canada, coast to coast, that event in my life made me come out of being suicidal and depressed. And 7 years ago, suicidal, depressed, I crossed Canada, coast to coast, coast to coast, coast to coast, coast to coast, coast to coast. That event made me have established a strong esprit de corps, establishing a strong esprit de corps, my fellow Canadian family 7 years ago. And Quebec, North Americans Unite is the call. Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom is my dream. The dream for a public-private partnership, a North American Democratic Republic, a North American Union similar to the EU, but in a different manner, because we're a new developmental collective civilizational complex. North America is a new civilizational complex, emergent, not totally divorced, but distinct from Western civilization, not totally divorced, but distinct from Western civilization. And I always say I'm a North American, Canadian, Quebecer in this life, in the past life, you know. Gotta get it for the truckers, and this is home here. Montreal, for the public collectors, public sanitation, picking up the garbage, give them some free tickets, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Give them some free tickets for the North American Collective Workers Party. Gotta get it as we go, as I go on those toes, and gotta put up some of that work. Somebody changing some diapers now and in the daycares, teaching some of those maths. To school, gotta get some of that centrist philosophy, being yours truly, get that 50-50. Rock and roll for those. On the road, up in the go, on the road, up in on the road, up in the show. You know we got plenty of lights up in the go, you know we got plenty of dimes up in the goes. Fast food workers, gotta give us salutations to the fast food workers. Gotta give me some salutations to the fast food workers. Gotta give me some salutations for the fast food workers. Those making up some of those sandwiches, bacon, cheese, lettuce, some salad. Gotta thinking about them, going with their hands. Gotta be a little bit of sanitation. Cleaning workers, you know. Cleaning up, scrubbing some of that toilet. I just scrubbed a little bit of my toilet. Gotta get some liquid. Cause I think I've been riding out a bit. I pressed like 5 times. I pressed like 5 times, pressed like 5 times. And it only sprayed a little bit. So I need to get myself another one. But making some of that money. Tomorrow gotta pay rent again. This is the last day my rent's paid, electricity bill's paid, got food and coffee, you know. Was able to afford myself a coffee, was on special, so gotta say my gratitude. Rent's paid, last day of October is this Halloween 31st. Got food, got coffee, got myself some wafers, you know, I'm a wafer fanatic. Chocolate, hazelnut, and strawberry wafers, you know, that sweets. And I'm a wafer fanatic. I got some crane fetishes, and I always meditate. Even now in my mind is geopolitics, rock and roll, sports, fitness. Dancing is my favorite sport, you know. I love to dance. Elevator trust, got that sunlight. Build me some satellites, supercomputers in the parallel life, microchips, everything to do with science, technology. But right here I'm a philosopher, artist, athlete, geopolitical, theoretical analyst, and mystic. Those kind of 5, you know, what I am at the core as a worker in those areas. Philosophy, artist, rock and roll that art, you know, 24/7. North American, Canadian, Quebec. I was gonna switch it to that French because we in la belle province. Gonna discuss my DRT now because it's the only solution. But once again, I gotta meditate a little bit from a geopolitical complex, that coast-to-coast defense security service, the Dragon Army, which is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership, an integrated citizen-public-private partnership across the collective North American civilizational complex, 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 across right here on the island surrounded by a river. My great family here, Quebecers, Canadians, North Americans, and all who come to join us, of course. All who come to join us. That's my mountain, mine, not just mine, yours, ours, together. Got that public, don't pollute when you go there, please. You know, right there, the mountain. That's that mountain, my second home, Mount Royal. That's that mountain, my second home, Mount Royal. That's my, not just mine, but yours, ours, and that's Mount Royal right there. I point the finger, and you see that downtown Montreal core area is starting to get seen. And now we're going to discuss that DRT. DRT stands for debt refusion theory. My brothers and sisters, it is the only theory which, of course, got to be implemented where we are now, with the public finances, in many ways with the private as well. But I'm speaking, of course, from a private perspective, on the go, and got to get that DRT, you know. So debt refusion theory is the only solution, my brothers and sisters. Now, where we are from this perspective, there is no other solution but the DRT. The DRT standing for our debt refusion theory. Debt refusion theory. My brothers and sisters, the motive, the reason why Andrew State made that statement is because the fact that today we pay 46.5 billion in interest Canadians on the public debt. So in 2020-2021 fiscal year it was 20.3. In the past 3 years, of course, mostly due to COVID, and as a survivor of COVID was like death, pestilence, and disease for me. COVID was like death, pestilence, and disease for me. COVID was like death, pestilence, and disease for myself. Having survived it, and I know it sounds like a hard metal death song, like death metal. Death, pestilence, and disease, and death, pestilence, and disease. Upon my enemies, that would be, you know, something like that. But that's how I felt. 2020, February, March. In 5 months, I'm going to be marking 5 years since I survived 2020, February, March, mid-February to mid-March, something like that. So back to the DRT. The point is that debt servicing, paying the interest on the public debt, more than tripled. So more than doubled. So it was 20.3 billion. A billion is 1,000 million. So that's 20,000 million. So times 2, that's 40.6. So basically the debt kind of double, more than double. Because double would have been 20.3 times 2 would have been 40.6. So it's now 46.5 billion. So that billion, that's in the billions that it is. And my only solution is the DRT. The only solution is the DRT. There's no other solution. The debt refusion theory, the DRT, the debt refusion theory. The DRT, wow, that's a nice truck. So the DRT stands for D, debt refusion T theory. It also includes monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is exactly what was done, implemented in the European Union. In the European Union. That's what was done in the European Union. Monetary integration is a financial theory, and in the European Union in the 90s, the Germans destroyed their central bank and all currencies, the French also, the Italians also, and they created the ECB. ECB is a common central bank, the European Central Bank, to issue a new currency of exchange, known as the euro. So my DRT theory also includes monetary integration theory, which is exactly the theory which was implemented in the European Union. So that is important to take note and keep in mind. Keep in mind and take note of that. See, it's 22 degrees. So what I was saying, of course, the DRT, debt refusion theory, my brothers and sisters, you can argue all you want, but it's the only solution now where we are today in 2024 going on 2025 with the Trump elections, Kamala Harris. I'm a Kamala supporter, I do support my Scorpio brother Joe Biden, and I would definitely vote Kamala. I would vote Kamala. That's open statement. I would vote Kamala. I have my own theories and propositions. What if it's going to be very close? Anyways, back to the DRT, debt refusion theory. It's a beautiful green. Debt refusion theory includes monetary integration theory. So here it is explained as simply as I can, because due to Asperger's, known as HFA, my tendency is to be overly verbose and intellectual, academic and sophisticated, scholarly, academic linguistics and language when presenting when in parallel to being able to present more in a simple matter. So that's Asperger's for you, and it's just working on my symptoms over the past 45 months. I've been aware and for years that I have it, and I have to be attentive and take the necessary steps and make an effort to manage my ASP symptoms, because there's no medication. It's not a mental illness. It is a neurological mental divergent condition which makes myself part of a minority known as ASPs. An ASP is somebody who has HFA, high functioning autism, although I refer to it by Asperger's as a neurological mental divergent psychic condition, not a disorder nor a mental illness. And there's some propositions that it might be a step towards an evolutionary process that I don't know, but I saw it on BBC, not the porn acronym BBC, but of course British Broadcasting Corporation. So I saw it on that, and a few years ago there was a documentary which I'm gonna watch again, meditate on it, but that's their propositions, and they're putting the arguments forward that this condition, Asperger's, is actually a part of an evolutionary process towards the next step. I don't know about that. I'm not convinced. I just say it's a neurological mental divergent condition, which is newly arriving in the 20th century. And of course, more and more people are having it in the 21st century, but it's about, red my favorite color, red my favorite color. Red and green gotta get together, man. Dancing Goddess, Dragon Kingdom, that's somewhere in between. Gotta get that Dancing Goddess and Dragon Kingdom. Gotta get it for that go, and gotta get it for those trucks. I gotta be prudent when I cross the street, and right here just to be safe, on the safe side. Just to be on the safe side, and he saluted, he let me pass, he shook his head and said you can pass, so that was cooperation, and thumbs up, go ahead, and that's it. That's all, rock and roll. Thank you, fellow citizen driver. So the DRT, debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt. It's the only solution, my brothers and sisters. Again, you can argue, but there's how much interest we pay today. There's no solution. There's no solution now but the DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, Universal Exchange Unit. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. My debt, 10,000. Personal debt, got $10,000 in debt. So we're gonna take all the public private debt. All the debt converted to US dollar, because the United States dollar is the currency of choice for world trade, international business, and global affairs and all the like. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, and we're gonna refuse it. So all the public and the private debt converted into US dollars, coast to coast, including my $10,000 to the Royal Bank of Canada. My debt, your debt, our debt. All that debt converted to US dollars. We're going to add it with the US, Canada first, North American Collective. It could be expanded to NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization member states. But first, North America. So all the debt, Canada, United States, Mexico, Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic, they're part of the complex of North American civilizational complex. They're part of North America. And my goodness, I just saw a butterfly. That's a good omen, the butterfly. It was black, white, and red. Kind of like 5 colors, basically. Like a little bit of blue on it, a little bit of green as well. Kind of like 5 colors. Maybe the sun made it that effect, but nonetheless, October 31st, seeing a butterfly, wow. Maybe they count, I don't know, it is 22 degrees, so it's like, June temperatures, early June, late June, even late June, beginning of summer temperatures today, basically. Summer temperature today, basically, summer temperature. So, anyways, we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. Public and the private debt, public and the private debt. Public and the private debt, public and the private debt, public and the private debt. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. We're gonna take it, convert it to US dollars, convert it to US dollars, convert it to US dollars. So all that debt, the public and the private debt, converted into US dollars, that's gonna be the initial money supply for a new central bank. So all the debt, public and private, will be converted to US dollar. That money is gonna be the initial money supply for a new central bank. Because remember, my DRT, debt refusion theory, it also includes monetary integration theory, which is exactly the financial theory which was applied and did in Europe in the 90s by the creation of the ECB. So we're going to create a central bank, but the money supply is going to be all the public and the private debt, and we're going to create a new currency known as the UE. The UE, U dot, universal, E dot, exchange unit, the UE, the UE, the UE. That's why I'm calling on my astrological brother Bill Gates, Scorpio. Bill Gates of Black Rock, Larry Fink, another Scorpio, and Joe Biden. It doesn't matter, it could be Sagittarius, Leos, all the Pisces, but all that money is going to be converted to US dollar. We're going to create a new currency just like they did in the European Union. We're going to call it the UE. U dot, universal, E dot, exchange, U dot, universal exchange unit, universal exchange unit, U dot, universal, E dot, exchange unit, UE, U dot, universal, E dot, exchange, U dot, UE, the universal exchange unit. So that money, we're going to send an interest rate level of 10%. 10%, it could be 3.33, 7.18, 9.3, 4.18, 7.18, below 10% by principle thereof. After we implement the DRT, we're going to create the UE, and with that money, we're going to send an interest rate at 10%. We're going to be able to rebuild the infrastructure of the North American Collective, finance citizens to work out, train, exercise, finance citizens for intra-North American tourism, finance, of course, the complementary covenant of cooperative institutions, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, the Dragon Army, the North American Citizen Integrated Security Defense Force, Public Private Punishment, the DGA Dancing Goddess Army, the North American Integrated Dance League for the environment. Of course, clean the environment of North America, plant trees, and dance for the environment, for nature, for civilization, dance for the firefighters, dance for the truckers, dance for the butchers, dance for the public sanitation workers, dance for the plumbers, dance for the electricians, dance for the bakers, dance for the daycare workers, dance for the firefighter, dance for the electricians, dance for the construction workers, dance for the warehouse workers, dance for the railroad workers, dance for the North American Collective workers. Dance, dance, dance. So that's what we're gonna be doing. So that money, see that red over there? I always love to sell a little bit of that red, and it's not all about red, it's about black and white and rainbow together. North American Collective Workers Party. North American Collective Workers Party support the dream. Rainbow Dragons dream for the implementation of thereof. The DRT, Debt Refugee Tree, for the creation of the UE. We're gonna be able to do lots of good with that money. Public good as well. Finance citizens and rebuild the infrastructure. We got a lot of work to do. And now I'm gonna switch it to that French, because we're in la province, encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. And working out, training, exercising has been, is, and will be my medicine and therapy of choice. Will be my medicine and therapy of choice. And will be my medicine and therapy of choice. So let's go, leaders of the free world. Drop down, give Dragons you some push-ups. And it's a beautiful sky, beautiful day today. Grateful for today. Carpe diem and every day with hope for tomorrow. When I see people hugging, kissing, and dancing, doing some acts of love, and gotta rush me a little bit. Bienvenue. On est dans la belle province. Il me reste 7 secondes. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Et victoire. Ah, bienvenue à la marche. Ce jour d'Halloween. Il fait chaud, 22 degrés, c'est comme l'été, bien sûr. Comme en juin, même juillet au début, mais encore une fois, je vous encourage à faire l'entraînement physique. Votre artiste en tête philosophe et Aspi avec Asperger's. Aujourd'hui, à la marche dans le sud de l'île de Montréal. Je salue les camionneurs, les infirmières, les bouchers dans les boulangeries, les cons. On travaille en construction. Et vous savez que j'ai de quoi, un petit quoi pour les grues. Les grues, ça a permis de construire un petit pour les camionneurs, pour les travailleurs dans les boulangeries, puis les travailleurs sur les autoroutes qui changent les couches dans les garderies. Les travailleurs qui font du nettoyage, qui font de la construction, qui font des chemins de fer, les travailleurs publics qui vont ramasser le compostage. Jeudi, c'est le compostage. Puis moi-même, j'ai travaillé sur le compostage. J'ai travaillé sur le compostage dans une couple d'années, puis travaillé pour le recyclage, puis j'ai bien fait des choses, puis je fais du rock'n'roll 24/24, j'ai l'Asperger, c'est pas une maladie mentale, c'est une condition de neurodivergence. Je suis artiste, philosophe et théoricien, analyste théoricien en géopolitique qui adore le rouge. Fait que je dois chanter pour le camion rouge puis le blanc. Ça prend du bleu, la fleur de lys, un arc-en-ciel, bien sûr, les mains dans les airs. Brique par brique, du bricolage puis des mélasses. On a des abeilles qui travaillent. On est le 31 octobre. C'est l'Halloween, puis à soir, moi je me déguise. Oh, puis le beau bleu. Ça, c'est des beaux camions, j'adore. Des camions comme ça, c'est d'une beauté. Puis vous voyez, à cause de l'Asperger's, on a des fixations. C'est une condition de neurodivergence. Des fois, on est fixé sur des choses que les gens trouvent un peu étranges. Je suis en train de me fixer, puis je suis en train de lire le numéro qui est écrit, puis je me demande c'est quoi pourquoi il y a un numéro qui est écrit avec les lettres comme ça. Fait que c'est sûr que ça a un sens, ça marque une catégorie ou une classification de quelque chose, mais c'est ça l'autisme hautement fonctionnel. C'est ça l'Asperger's. On est neurodivergent, on a des intérêts obsessifs. Puis moi, ma trinité d'intérêts obsessifs, c'est la géopolitique 24/24. Puis même au point de vue, je suis un analyste et théoricien en géopolitique qui a prévu qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant. J'ai prévu, bien sûr, la situation actuelle en 2019, en octobre. Fait que ça fait 5 ans déjà que je marque, avec 7 ans que j'ai traversé, bien sûr, le Canada, qui m'a fait sortir de la dépression moi-même. M'a fait sortir de la dépression en 2017. Quand j'ai traversé le Canada, j'ai fondé un esprit de corps solide en 2017. Cet événement dans ma vie, ça m'a changé la vie complètement. Traverser le Canada, voir le Canada, quel beau pays qu'on a. Le Québec, j'aimerais ça aller voir Bay James, les centrales qu'on a bâties. Puis, la civilisation est un privilège. La civilisation est un privilège. J'admire le travail en construction. Puis, les bouchers dans les boulangeries, les camionneurs, les électriciens, ils chantent toujours du rock'n'roll pour eux autres aussi. Puis, je suis toujours en méditation 24/24 de la géopolitique quand je fais mes longues marches, quand je m'en vais à ma deuxième maison, la montagne, le Mont-Royal. C'est des choses que nous, les Aspergers, on a des intérêts obsessifs. Puis dans ces intérêts obsessifs, on voit tellement de détails, puis fait tellement des analyses détaillées de ces choses-là, qu'on a des détails dans ces choses qu'on voit. Maintenant, je suis en train de mettre dans le contexte de la géopolitique internationale globale, parce que la géopolitique, c'est pas juste le Québec, le Canada puis l'Amérique du Nord, ça fait partie de tout le monde. Tu sais, la géopolitique, c'est toujours un changement, il y a toujours des événements de géopolitique, des traités, des événements, soit des... Comme aujourd'hui, la méditation, c'est sur le test de la Corée du Nord, des missiles intercontinentaux, puis le fait que ça a été confirmé que la Corée du Nord a envoyé des soldats de l'armée de la Corée du Nord en Ukraine. C'est sûr que moi, je suis pas sur le terrain, fait que je peux me prononcer puis je fais des analyses, mais je connais Montréal. Je connais Montréal. Mes théories, mes initiatives, c'est pour l'Amérique du Nord, parce que je suis nord-américain, canadien, québécois, je peux me prononcer, mais j'ai pas vécu sur le terrain là-bas. Je les invite tous les chefs mondiaux sur le Mont-Royal pour la paix du monde, mais c'est l'Amérique du Nord, premièrement, que moi, je suis pour mes initiatives, puis mes théories, puis mes philosophies, bien sûr, en tant qu'analyste, théoricien en géopolitique, ASPI. Centriste, mon centrisme est basé sur mes théories, la trinité de théories qu'il faut bien sûr faire, cette trinité de théories. Et faisant partie d'une petite minorité, moins d'un sur 300, c'est 0,44, même pas 1%, là. Même pas la moitié d'1% ont l'Asperger's. Fait que ces derniers 3 ans et demi et plus, ces derniers 45 mois, j'ai appris bien sûr à le connaître, j'ai appris ensuite à le connaître bien sûr, fait que toujours en méditation solide, puis pour mes protocoles méditatifs, c'est pour la défense, sécurité et le service, puis j'ai prévu la situation actuelle en 2019, en octobre, basé, si je peux vous présenter, faire un résumé de que c'était basé sur quoi, c'était le fait, bien sûr, que beaucoup de pays, des régions et des civilisations n'ont pas été capables de résoudre leurs problèmes datés du 20e siècle. C'est ça qui se passe maintenant. C'est des problèmes du 20e siècle qui sont retournés dans le 21e siècle avec intensité. Au Moyen-Orient, en Europe, la Russie-Ukraine, il faisait partie d'un complexe, là, l'Union soviétique, au 20e siècle. La Corée du Nord, encore du 20e siècle. Potentiellement, la Chine puis le Taïwan, l'île de Taïwan. Ou en Amérique du Nord, je dis souvent, mais on a fait le grand compromis linguistique. Du français, on est 10 millions de Québécois. On s'entend. Je travaille avec l'anglais, je parle anglais, je fais un effort. Je veux pas faire un effort en anglais, ben c'est... en français, ça c'est son business. Si on fait affaire, on fait affaire. On a été capable de se rendre jusqu'au ce point-là avec mes frères et sœurs noirs, les 13,3, 13,4% bien sûr de la population sont noirs, tu sais, mes voisins inclus, hein. Fait que c'est des choses comme ça, bien sûr, qu'on fait, bien sûr. Et des choses comme ça qu'on fait, bien sûr, puis on continue à le faire, bien sûr. Le compromis, puis bien sûr, j'ai vécu moi-même, mais plusieurs, je suis quand même, je suis hyper vigilant à cause que, dans un couple d'années, j'ai vécu j'ai été attaqué par surprise dans le métro. Puis j'étais allé à l'hôpital, j'ai tombé, je me suis cogné la tête, je suis allé à l'hôpital, j'avais le bras droit brisé un peu, fait que je suis toujours, depuis ce moment-là, je suis en hypervigilance. Ça fait un couple d'années de ça, je me souviens pas exactement c'était quelle année, là, mais depuis cet événement dans ma vie, je suis hyper vigilant à cause de ça, fait que j'ai créé mon propre système d'entraînement physique, je m'entraîne, puis c'est bien sûr ces choses-là, bien sûr, qu'il faut que je fasse moi-même dans ce contexte que je suis hyper vigilant surtout depuis cet événement-là que je me suis fait attaquer il y a un couple d'années dans le métro. Moi, je ne discuterai pas plus de ça, mais j'aime pas la violence, mais c'est pour la défense qu'il faut des fois s'entraîner puis être fort, puis avoir une bonne constitution, puis du point de vue défensif. Mais mes initiatives, mes protocoles sont pour la défense. Tout ça, l'agression, tout ça, il faut la maîtriser puis faire l'entraînement physique, là. Les émotions aussi, tu sais, moi aussi j'en ai, tu sais. Je pète pas trop la coche d'autiste comme certains autistes parce que je suis un individu autiste, puis depuis plus que 3 ans et demi, depuis 45 mois et plus, j'y travaille sur mon autisme, j'y travaille sur mon Asperger, je sais que je suis neurodivergent, je fais partie d'une petite minorité quand même, moins sur 1 sur 300, moins d'1 sur 300, là, 0,44, même pas 1% de la population de l'Amérique du Nord, même pas 1%. Ben, en faisant aussi partie de la communauté LGBTQ, c'est 5%, c'est pas la même chose, là. 5%, puis 1%, c'est bien moins. Puis c'est moins que la moitié d'1%. C'est 0,44%. Bien sûr, ça a besoin d'un peu de peinture, ça là. Vous voyez, avec ma théorie de l'initiative, bien sûr, de la dette, on va pouvoir faire, bien sûr, de l'événement, bien sûr, là, qu'on va pouvoir faire ensemble avec la théorie de la dette que je dois faire maintenant, que ça soit fait maintenant, puis l'implémentation de la théorie. Je dois tourner ma tête de la gauche à droite, de la tête à la gauche à droite quand je tourne ici. Parce que des fois, il y a les automobiles qui viennent vite, les freins ne fonctionnent pas, bien sûr. Les freins ne fonctionnent pas, bien sûr, les freins ne fonctionnent pas. Les freins ne fonctionnent pas, fait que c'est des fois, bien sûr, qu'il faut que je fasse moi-même des intérêts, bien sûr, des choses comme ça. Et c'est ça. Avec la condition de neurodivergence, ça fait bien sûr cet événement dans ma vie, bien sûr. Mais je vais les jouer avec la gratitude, tu sais. Puis des choses, ben, comme le racisme et tout ça, mais j'embrasse, puis j'offre des bisous, des câlins à mes frères et sœurs qui sont différents, noirs, puis d'autres nord-américains qui sont différents, tu sais. Avec l'action. C'est ça l'autisme, l'Asperger, c'est ça. Nous, on ne console pas vraiment. On a des interactions sociales différentes un peu. Fait que nous, dans ce contexte-là, on est neurodivergents, puis on offre des choses. Tu sais, à place, c'est ça l'Asperger. On n'a pas les mêmes relations sociales que les gens qui ne sont pas neurodivergents. Fait que c'est à peu près ça qui se passe avec l'Asperger. Puis ici dans le parc, je m'en vais bien sûr un peu faire l'entraînement. Puis c'est l'entraînement à la géopolitique de la rock'n'roll 24/24. Fait que c'est ça bien sûr que moi-même je dois vivre avec. Fait que je vis avec. Puis je fais tous appel bien sûr à soutenir votre dragon arc-en-ciel pour l'implémentation de mon rêve. Mon rêve, c'est fondamentalement un appel à un partenariat public-privé pour la création de l'unité d'échange universelle par la théorie de la refusion de la dette, qui est la seule et unique solution en ce moment. Mes chers, vous pouvez vous obstiner tant que vous voudrez. On est rendu, bien sûr, qu'on paye d'intérêt 46,5 milliards sur la dette publique. Puis bien sûr, il faut faire cette condition de neurodivergence, Et bien sûr, là, on arrête la vidéo pour l'instant. Soutenez mon rêve. On va voir la condition, c'est pas pire. Ça a été nettoyé quand même, je pense. Fait que that's it, that's all. Rock and roll 24/24. Puis il faut que j'oublie pas de me laver les mains après que je sors parce que l'hygiène en public, c'est important, mes chers.